Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Hearthcenter, your Tuesday night show bringing you some of the most exciting results from the last week of THL. I am one of your hosts, Lotus Knight, and I am going to fix the image while we talk because you can now see two nails. Yes, it's true. But our first host in our top right corner this time, I'll start it the other way around. We have the one and only Geranium Battle. Geranium, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good this week. You know what? I'm more prepared on the sheet and in getting set up. I'm less prepared for the opening question. I am. I don't know. I'm just happy.
Nice. Um, I'm going to start with Bottom Nails, the actual one and only Nails, not the hacker. How are you doing, Nails?
Both of us are doing well. Thanks for having both of us.
It's always great having you. And last but not least, on the top left corner, we have Super Chicken once again here with us. Chicken, how are you tonight?
Doing great, thanks. If you get a Discord message from Second Nails, do not answer it. Bad things will happen.
True. We have quite the show for everyone tonight. We have Hero, we have Legacy, we have Pro, we have Pro U, we have Stats, we have March Madness. That's now finally over, but we are going to quickly talk about it, as well as our checkout question, which we always do. So we are going to start with Player of the Week. Everyone ready for Player of the Week?
Definitely.
All right. And we're going to do it a little bit different. I know we usually start with Hero, but we are going to start today with our why don't we start with, let me make sure this is correct. Why don't we start with our Pro EU Player of the Week? Geranium, do you want to tell us who it is?
Our Pro EU Player of the Week is none other than Van Sprutarn. Van Sprutarn is off to an excellent start in his rookie season, holding down the one seed in the early part of the season for his team Undivided. He had an important 3-0 sweep last week to help his team to their first win of the season. A big week for Undivided and Van Sprutarn.
Nice. Congratulations, Van Spartan, on the Pro EU Player of the Week. Our second Player of the Week for Legacy Series comes directly from Nails. Nails, can you tell us who it is?
Our legacy player of the week is Laughing Frog. Laughing Frog continues to impress with another strong performance that brings her team to the top spot in Gold Conference. Every point matters. But what makes her victory a little bit cooler is that she did it with Big Beast Hunter. This match features an endless conga line of idiots and a Houndmaster Shaw plus Hydralodon combo for infinite board clearing. It doesn't matter if your opponent has 20 mana when you have a Rat King ready to take a bite.
Nice. That's awesome. Congratulations to Laughing Frog, and just shout out to Big Beast Hunter. I hope that deck is good at some point, and I know I'm going to regret it because it's going to be OP and break the game, but I do hope it's good at some point.
So that combo, I guess it probably requires like a harpoon gun and 9 mana to pull off. Which, to be fair, you can get there. Just simply bottom deck your Hydralodon.
Nope. All it
Uh,
requires is you to pull the Hydralodon from deck when you
yo, that is
snipper
so
trip
true
dies.
though.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like it summons the guys, and as long as they have rush for any reason, yeah, okay. Um, yeah, that'll
Fair.
do it.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have our hero player of the week, and it's finally time to announce it. Chicken, do you want to go ahead?
I couldn't be happier to read this. So our hero player of the week is Rebob. No, surely this can't be right. No. Our actual hero player of the week is Geranium Battle. So the banter in the APM server heated up this week with the two APM hero teams facing off. Bragging rights were on the line, And could Geranium Battle help avenge his captain's loss in the last season's semifinal? With the match sitting at 2 wins apiece, the pressure was on to secure the win over his former Tavern Talk host J.R. Juggerlaw. He did not let his team down, securing a 3-1 win and putting him at a perfect 3-0 on the season. And thanks to Bone Masher for submitting that.
Nice.
Wow.
Con-
I got baited in the show notes, and I was told that it was going to be Rebob, and I was angry.
oh yeah,
And now
that was me and Corridon. Just we decided that we would not tell you at all you were getting this. Um, Congratulations, Geranium. Though I hope you're feeling good about it.
yeah, yeah. Um, I don't know. I'm getting emotional. I'm gonna.
Nice. Nah, it was a good match, and congrats for winning. With that, shall we move on to the action part of our show?
Yeah, let's get into it.
All right. So we are going to begin where we always begin with Hero Series. And to tell us about our first match, Chicken, why don't you tell us about the Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles facing Dad Legend?
Yeah, we had the somewhat, or I guess it's not really the former. It is actually no, it is the former champions. With 3 out of the 5 from at Diamond. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it was actually a lot closer than you might have thought it would have been. Mighty somewhat struggling in the 3 seed. Maybe he needs to move down to the 4 or possibly even the 5. But Turtle, Wild Nine, and Pokemon getting the wins in their seeds to close it out for the Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles. But Dad Legend putting up a pretty good fight. I think despite being 0-3, they've still gotten a decent amount of points. Like 11, 11 to 14 isn't too bad in a loss, but I'm sure Dad Legend really wants to get into that win column as soon as possible.
For sure. Um, I'm gonna ask Geranium here. Do you have any thoughts on the Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles versus Dad Legend?
Yeah. So we with the with the Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles, I really feel like Mighty really looked like the far and away leader of the pack going into the season. But yeah, just to see the entire rest of the team being to the same high quality, really puts on a show and puts them to the top of the Purple Conference right now. Um, Unfortunate for Dad Legend, they were on the receiving end, but now the Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirrels have faced the lowest team in both conferences and no pros here who are in sort of that same region. So it just goes to show that their opponents are the ones getting not enough points.
Fair, fair. Everyone ready for us to move into our second match of the night? Okay, so let's take a look at our second match, which is the 8 p.m. Mirror. Dranium, you were present. You got Player of the Week for it. Tell us what happened there.
So, Awake Past Midnight versus Always Ping Mage. Now, all of the APM teams are in one server, so obviously there was some friendly banter going on. But when it actually came down to brass tacks, it was a pretty competitive back and forth. We had an early German Shep 3-1 over Genji, and J Rich's first win of the season, a 3-0 over Venus Momoni. Then came the fourth of the back and forth, where Lancelord beat Bone Masher in game 5, and Yfair beat Laughing Frog 3-1. So then it just came down to me versus JR Juggerlaw, the person who won that match would win the entire week, and I managed to high roll very 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 high with Mech Mage. So 3-1.
Nice. I mean, I see a rogue there, and I hear a high roll with Mech Mage. I'm sure that was a good match. Nails, do you want to add anything to this one?
Hmm. You've put me on the spot. I really should have had something better prepared. I was
That's
trying to
fair.
come up with an APM pun to summarize the series, but I don't have anything loaded up. Looks like a close series, and don't really have too much analysis to do.
Fair. Chicken,
Uh,
anything you want to add about this one?
Yeah, I think I would personally say that APM is definitely stronger in their top 3 seeds, and that I mean that is kind of or all week past midnight is stronger in their top 3 seeds, and that's
Well, that's okay.
yeah, that is where they got their wins.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jay Rich has played in the 1 seed for a while, like on different teams. So him being in 2 is quite good here. And I think like I mean, to be fair, JR has also played in the 1 seed, and I think in Legacy his PR is much
Yes.
higher.
Even in Hero,
But
he
yeah,
has played the one.
oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, off to not a great start in Hero this season. Starting out 0-3. But I mean, definitely likely to bounce back and get some wins on the board going forward.
For sure.
yeah, there's a lot of fun facts about this match. One, of course, is Genji, Venus Mimoni, and JR also were all 1 seeds. In fact, the only one of the top 3 players who wasn't a 1 seed before was me. Venus Mimoni was a 1 seed and had a pretty good record for an entire season. Um, and another fun fact is, of course, that every single one of these matches has a mage in it, but most of them weren't brought by always Ping Mage. Come on, guys. And then my final fun fact is JR Juggerlaw is now a 4 seed and will be facing Yellow Dart. His one
Ayo.
true rival of THL.
Nice.
Well, in draft series we had Donde in the 5. Will we have JR in the 5 by the end of the season? It is possible.
I mean,
Yfair
Wi-Fire's
is
3-0 and crushing it. So crazier things have happened.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, the only thing I
Specifically,
can
Dande,
see
or I don't know which one's crazier between JR and Dande being a 5, but
Oh, Donde.
roughly as crazy things have happened.
JR was the 4 when Donde was the 5 too.
Yeah,
That is true.
that is crazy.
Okay, so slightly less crazy things have happened.
Yeah,
I guess that's how that works out.
yeah. I mean, you could say PR is a very weird metric, but I will keep us moving to our final match where, there was no this friendly thing of getting a close result. We had a smash here with a 20-6 win by Barnes. Nails, tell us what happened.
Well, we just have 5 clear instances of player diff here. Based 3-1 Peewee, Hype 3-1 Mumked, Seth 3-1 Skittles, Astral Frog 3-2 to Bassoon Buffoon, and Roadrunner 3-1 Clarity. Just yeah, there's not much else to say about it. Just massive player diff on all counts.
Fair.
always good to stay humble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Um,
Yeah.
Um, like we had the same lineup last season, and missed playoffs, and so uh, when uh, when you have some extra PR to spare and your team fails to like finish top half, what else are you supposed to do but run it back and have a big lead over the Hero Series through 3 weeks.
Nails? Are you
What?
okay? Your
Hmm?
fifth player was TH Lemur.
Oh, sorry. I teamed with Roadrunner in Legacy then. Yeah.
Oh, fair.
Uh, so my bad on that one. But
I,
yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Roadrunner in the 5, and it just it made sense to me, and so I assumed that it was the same thing.
no,
And
so Seth was replaced by TH Lemur in the previous season. What was it?
okay, yeah, we have Seth back. Anyways, he's crushing it this year in crossover.
Yes.
I don't actually know what's going on. I'm just trying. I was just trying to gloat, honestly.
I mean, this was still an amazing showing by Barnes. Chicken,
You
anything
know,
you want to note?
NPH.
Oh, go ahead, Nails.
Oh no, NPH is like consistently a solid team. So,
For
uh,
sure.
but like gloating aside, we're very pleased to win. No flame was intended to be serious. There was flame intended, but I was joking.
For sure. Um, Chicken, anything you want to share about this match?
Yeah, pretty crazy. Like, yeah, this hero team was very similar last year, as Dale's mentioned, and like did not win very much.
No.
It is really funny how some teams can just kind of like flick a switch and start doing better one expansion to the next. But that is just kind of the nature of how the meta changes, I guess.
Yeah, I also think the meta right now feels very different than how it felt pre-rotation. And that can help. Some players don't click in specific metas. Like there are people who are better at OTK, better at board decks, and I mean everyone's good at DH it seems, but other than that, it does really matter. So why don't we look at the standings for Teal Conference first? And Nails, tell us what's going on in Teal.
So as previously alluded to, Barnes is smashing. After that, it's a super close pack of teams fighting for second with FTL Black and Extraterrestrials at 47, and at least I don't have Chicken at 46. Then Teal APM is a ways back at 36 points, and Dad Legend is bringing up the rear at 25.
Nice. And if we take a quick look at Purple, Geranium, tell us what's going on.
Yeah, in Purple Conference, we've got actually some pretty close competition up at the top with Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles, 54 points, literally one wins point ahead of the Unknown at 51. Then Awake Past Midnight at 48 points, another single win worth of points behind. Then 15 points below that, we get to F2L Obsidian. Then No Pros Here. And finally, at 30 points, Volish I Was a Baller. Very close between the two sets of groups, but yeah, only top three make it to playoffs. So
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be a tight race, but it's cool to see how strong some of these teams are, and the series is still far from over. There's still a lot to happen. With that said, everyone ready for us to move into Legacy?
yeah,
So, at the Legacy side of things, we're going to start with a match featuring, for our first match, we're going to take a look at Colossal Misplays versus SPG. Nails, take us away.
Yeah, so in uh, Colossal Misplays took a 15-9 victory. Pee-wee took a 3-0 victory over Blood Rose. Ariana 20 uh, lost 2-3 to Mumkid. Pescatarian took a 3-1 win over Chewy. Two-Star Mako took a 3-1 victory over Darkside. And Bite-Sized Zach took a 3-0 victory over Eternal.
Nice. Chicken, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it. I mean, seeing Chewy in the 3 and being 1 and 2 is pretty surprising. I remember, like, I think when Chewy first started playing THL, like he started out in the as a sub in the 1 seed, and yeah, in our match, I think it was I did end up winning, but it was very very close. Like super went to game a very close game 5. Yeah, so I think Chewy's a pretty strong player. So to see him starting out at 1 and 2 is pretty surprising. But I think he'll probably pick it up, and Colossal misplays they're doing fairly well still. I think
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the team will carry him until he does kind of catch a stride.
Fair.
Chewy and Mighty both at 1 and 2 in the 3 seed. The 3 seed might be the hardest seed in THL.
True.
Yeah, I got an entire team of them, and
Yeah.
all of
Facts.
their games are really hard.
The reseed goes hard.
I will say on for Pesca's benefit, Pesca also started as a 1 seed, and went positive 5-4. So like and also he topped an MTQ. So I mean, like, they both have their own sort of awards to go alongside their 3 seed status. I'm not surprised to see either of them win.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will move us into our next match, just so we finish the show on time, because there's still a lot to cover. And our next match, our last gold match of the night, Duranium is going to look at the commissioner match. We have the Pod People facing the Explosive Sheep.
Yes, Pod People versus Explosive Sheep. An explosive week for Pod People. Unfortunately, Explosive Sheep, despite the fact that they are almost literally a playoff team from 2 seasons ago, they are not that. They are 0-3 after this week. Ridiculous Hat taking the first week off of T-Stu with a 3-1. Epic Mingo taking his first win, though, since his ban from THL at a game 5 victory over Starlax. Wicked Good 3-0 sweeps Megu, Bitbeaker 3-0 sweeps Dragon Rider, and Swaybe gets swept by Sharkbait.
Very strong showing from Pod People. Nails, anything you want to add to this one?
Um, uh, Max misspoke. It was actually Dragon Rider taking the 3-0 victory over Bitbeaker. But aside from that, yeah, just Pod People, they had pretty sure they had a nice season last season, and they are continuing with like a pretty good point total for a 2-1 team. Um,
For sure.
Wicked Good with the 3-0 win this week and a 3-0 record overall. Seems to be doing well, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, just the rest of the lineup doing pretty solid.
For sure. Now, I'll keep us moving to look at the standings. How do the gold standings look like, Nails? We haven't talked about the top two teams. How is their duel going?
Um, I know that the Naga cult were first entering last week and got passed by Fish Eternum despite taking a win. So both teams have been doing pretty well this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like with like both are averaging more than 19 points through 3 weeks, which is I mean it's just a really strong performance. After that, after the two of those teams, F12 Whites and still undefeated, comfortably in third with 53 points. Pod People, as mentioned, are doing pretty well. They're 2-1 with 47 points. After that is a pack of teams with Hoop Me Dude at 39, Hot Sylphs at 38, and Colossal Misplays at 37. So those three teams very much in the thick of things.
Mm-hmm.
And the Stubbs is bringing up the rear at 31 points. but only 3 weeks into the season, so they're not out of it.
I don't think anyone's out yet, but um, you can't waste any more weeks. 3 weeks are a lot. It's going if you lose 4 weeks in a row and perform really poorly 4 weeks in a row, it is going to get tough. But the subs has tied twice, just very rare.
For sure.
Now,
The
oh,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead. I don't have anything.
Okay. Um, so I believe that is it for us about Gold Conference. Shall we move into Red Conference?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Lead the way.
So Chicken, tell me about Season 21 THL Legacy Series team facing the Hot Zilfs.
I would love to tell you about season 21 THL Legacy Series team facing up against the Hot Zilfs. Yeah, it started off quite well for us, I think. I think Chef and I played our matches first, so we had a pretty early lead, but it did end up getting closer with Gamer Dude and Thalfix losing afterwards. So it did end up coming down to Kitten in the end to win the week, and he did clutch it out with a 3-0 sweep.
Nice.
Oh, also want to note that everyone who did not ban Demon Hunter lost, which was only 2 people, but
Well, that's still a lot. Geranium, how do you feel about this one?
Um, I mean, I feel like just sort of looking at the quality of players here. I mean, Chronic going very far in the um, Madness tournament, the Mayhem, seeing him be sort of positive even up against Gamer Dude, who I thought was going to be one of the strongest 3 seeds. Once again, we get served. Um, why the 3 is just the hardest seed in THL right now,
For sure.
and yeah, and also Cole's being 0-3. Usually he is the one absolutely carrying Hot Zilfs. So I really feel like sort of some unusual performances from some of these players here. Um,
Sure.
so yeah, I mean, not surprised to see German Shep at 3-0 in the 2, but a lot of these other ones.
So let's take a look at our second match. Nails, if you want to lead us into that one, our second Legacy Red match.
Sure. So APM took down Standard DHL Degenerates 18-9. Cheesy 10 took down Dr. Bond 3-2. And Genji took down Memnarch 3-1. Electric Sheep City defeated Wyfair, a sub 3-2. Reverb 3-0'd Vampire Nighthawk. And Roadrunner 3-2'd Saku. The non-subs on APM all took victories over STD, and I mean STD had a really solid point total heading into the week, so um, just a really strong performance from APM.
For sure.
No other way to say it. 18-point week over a team that was, if not leading the table, they were they were clearly doing very well at 2-0. So big week for APM.
For sure. Um, Now we're going to take a look at the standings after Geranium tell us his thoughts about this one.
Yeah, I mean, Standard TGL Degenerates were the top team in silver before this. Now they've been a little bit dethroned by another priest meta. Uh, you can see APM is just hoarding the undefeated players here. CZ10, Genji, Roadrunner, all undefeated right now. Um, yeah, just no surprise that this is a big week for them, but maybe a surprise for Chicken here that Genji did win without banning Demon Hunter. Oh wait, there's no Demon Hunter on the other side.
That does explain it.
I'll do it.
I still think he could have banned Demon Hunter.
Fair. What were you going to say, Nails?
Oh, I wasn't. I was just giving a confirmation that you cannot ban Demon Hunter if it's not there. But honestly, I haven't been banning Demon Hunter. I don't think it's necessary. So that's my take on the matter. But I'm
Fair.
just one guy. So.
Hey, I didn't ban it either in Legacy. That said, shall we take a look at the Red Conference standings and see what's going on right now? Chicken, tell us what's going on. How is your team doing versus everyone else that's going on in Legacy Red?
It's the season 21 THL Legacy Series teams conference, and everyone else is just trying to stay above water. Is what I'll say.
Fair.
Yeah, our team is at 58 points in first place, and then APM pretty close behind at 53. Then we have Defias at 46, 4 Justins, 1 Sustin at 40. We have Not Justin pretty close behind at 36. The Coolest at 35. Legacy 3 seed at 32, and HSA at the bottom with 29 points.
So I just have a quick question.
Yeah.
You've been pronouncing the team that's leading this conference. His name is like Season 21. Is that supposed to be pronounced S21? I'm not familiar with the teams, the pronunciation
I
of
think
things.
that's just the Canadian accent coming through. I think
Okay.
really.
Okay. Is it supposed to be S21?
It
Like
really just.
Twitch chat was wondering what the team name was, so I wanted to get this established.
I think it's just the evil THL board members trying to keep us down and making us shorten our team name.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, so it is meant to be season. Okay, got it. That wasn't clear to me.
Secondary question. You've been avoiding pronouncing the last characters of the 3 seed team. How would you pronounce that?
I'm a Legacy 3 seed, colon, closed parentheses.
Fair. I guess this is a good moment for us to move into our final conference. So, Silver had a different story because while Legacy, this was a crossover week, and even while looking at the matches, we had a lot more wins for Red and Gold than we had for Silver, with the exception of one team, which we're going to see later. But let's start by looking at one of the only 2 wins that happened for Silver from where I can remember. And to take us through it, Geranium, go ahead.
Yes, from Silver, Dumbledore's army takes a 17-7 win over Not Justin. Superhero loses for the first time in the 1 versus Mr. Beluga 11. Rice Bowl takes a 3-2 win over Otto Button. Plants 3-0 sweeps Pyro. Catbat 3-0 sweeps Walpo. Bartimus 3-1 beats Ari, who was fresh off of her win over Skirt Reynolds. Yeah, just a huge week for Dumbledore's army. Not Justin showing themselves to be sort of the kryptonite against the Justin team, and by that I mean against everyone else they're just a rock.
Nice. So, Nails, any thoughts on Dumbledore's army facing not Justin?
It's nice to see a Silver Conference team get a win.
Fair.
And a pretty decisive one at that.
For sure. No, this is quite a big victory, and not Justin did have the victory they were looking for a long time last week.
Yeah. Nothing else really to say about that. The Dumbledore's army is looking to go looking to be going uh, pretty well this season. So yeah.
Fair. Yeah, we're going to have to see how Dumbledore's army performs over the next few weeks. But they are certainly in a strong spot. And to talk about the other team that performed super well this week, we have the other winning team in silver. Chicken, take it away.
Yeah, the Clowns have been kind of they've definitely been the standout team in Silver and maybe in all of Legacy series. Um, yeah, another or I don't know if this is their first 23-point week, but yeah, all five players got the win, and it's not too surprising. HSA had already been struggling a bit this season, and the Clowns had not, and yeah, they're just kind of steamrolling teams left and right, and it doesn't look like they're going to be stopping anytime soon. Pretty interesting from Neji actually, not bringing Demon Hunter or Druid in his match and still getting the win. Also had Warlock. I imagine it was that the Curse Warlock that's been popping up a bit lately. But yeah, pretty interesting classes and still getting the win.
For sure. This does look to be something of a target, or at least you definitely are letting DH through with this lineup. Um, but it's a cool idea. Nails, anything you want to say about this one?
Yeah, Neji's interesting lineup is the it does look to be the primary uh, like point of interest. And yeah, that looks like a target DH lineup. Ron is known for playing face decks, and so uh, pretty safe player to bring something like that against. Aside from that, the Clowns, their schedule has been relatively soft. They played the Explosive Sheep and SPG, and along with HSA. So their point total, they're definitely leading the way in Legacy, but it's not like they're beating the. They're getting massive point totals against teams that are like also performing well. It's kind of a down season for all three of those teams. So it's a good 3 weeks for them, but remains to be seen. Like the second and third place teams in silver have played significantly harder schedules.
Fair, fair. Fighting words, and we're going to see if Neji can reciprocate next week when he's back. Um, with that said, uh, Geranium, do you want to tell us what the standings are looking like in silver?
Of course. So at the top of the conference, the only team in Legacy to break the 20 points per week threshold and clear 21, in fact, is Kachow Clowns, 63 points. Standard THL Degenerates, I will say actually far behind, 15 points behind, in fact, 48 points. Dumbledore's Army, 47 points. Serenite Pain Gang at 36. Sunks of Drunken City, I almost said that drunkenly, at 35. Dad Legend at 34. Illidan's Death Knights at 33 and Explosive Sheep at 29. Rather close between all of the bottom five teams there.
Yeah, and I think this all has to do with crossover because a lot of the points in silver were stolen to some of the other conferences.
And
So,
yet their average opponent strength is so low. Curious.
true. Now, let me bring us back to our main screen, um, where it's time for our commercial break. And to read our commercial for the week, we have Super Chicken. Chicken, go ahead.
All right. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website, as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can sub to the channel for free. Subscribers will get a THL emoticon as well as the lovely THL chat badge. So hit that heart button and keep the notifications bing bong and make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest. Website, teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join the Team Hearth League Discord. And the true legend himself, Saku, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search for Team Hearth League to catch everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fanatics out there, there are shows every single most days of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone related content. Now back to the good part. Good ciao.
All right. So thank you, Chicken, for that great commercial read and for letting us know all about THL. So I guess we still have quite a lot to cover. We have Pro Series, we have EU Pro Series, and before we go into that, we had a tournament finish last week that I'm sure some people here were really excited about. So we're just going to take a look at the winner. We had March Madness finally over in the middle of May. And the winner of March Madness was Nails, taking it over our almost player of the week, Robobson, in a great final match that was on stream. Nails, how does it feel to win March Madness?
I believe that Neji was actually the winner. I can't claim his crown from him. Neji won the bracket challenge, which, as we know, is the more important of the two competitions with March Madness.
That's
Um,
true.
with that said, as the winner of the Hearthstone portion of March Madness, it feels good. I think that I just brought good decks and played them all, and at like both stages of the competition. There was a patch in the middle, and we were allowed to resubmit decks.
Mm-hmm.
My first submission was uh, basically just trying to bring 4 decks with a good matchup against Pirate Warrior because I expected that in the early stages of the bracket, and I won 9 games against Pirate Warrior in my 3 matches because the deck is not very good, and then it got
Fair.
nerfed, but it wasn't very good before then, anyways.
Fair.
And then for the second half of the bracket, yeah, I just tried to bring consistent decks and play them all, and um, I high rolled based and then just uh, played good Hearthstone for the remainder, and
Nice.
uh, yeah, ended up winning, taking the dub.
That's
Playing good
awesome.
Hearthstone is one way to win.
True. I just have one question for you before I open for questions from Geranium and Super Chicken. But my question for you, Nails, is did you think of throwing so Neji would lose his bracket?
Yes, but like it, in the end, I gave Rebob a lethal in Burn Shaman versus Warrior, but he didn't see it. So Rebob, I wanted to throw for content, but Rebob threw back, and like at that point, it's clear that Rebob just um, like throwing twice is just disrespectful. It doesn't respect your opponent's wishes. So um,
Fair. Fair.
uh, and jokes aside, it was a really hard lethal to spot. Like um, so uh, there, his hand was like 10 cards, and he had 10 mana, and had to figure out how to make it deal like 39 damage or 37 damage rather, and uh, it was hard to spot. So no
Fair.
flame intended. It happens to everyone, and then I killed him on the backswing.
That happens a lot, especially with decks like
Yeah,
Burn Shaman or Quest Hunter.
It was like his max damage was like a 6-card combo or something. Like it was Bolner, Bioluminescence Naga, Macaw, or then like triple lightning bolt or something like. And
Yeah,
it was just hard to spot because he was trying to save the ring to be an extra copy of bioluminescence, and the lethal didn't work if he did that. And so it's like it's super understandable to miss the lethal. It's just um,
for sure,
tough to spot.
for sure. Any final questions, Geranium and Chicken, you want to ask Nails before we move into our pro segments?
Yes,
Oh,
of
to
course.
go ahead.
So I know that in the preamble to the switch of the decks, because there was the nerfs, so people got to switch their decks. Everyone was saying they were going to copy you, and then you were the only one who copied Nails' lineup. Do you think that anyone else would have had a better shot at the title here had they copied you?
Well, actually, yes. So, Shep didn't copy the decks exactly, but for the decks that he played games with, I think it was either 0 or 1 cards off from the lineup that I submitted. And he did win a set with them. I think that having the Fell Demon Hunter would have given him better like mental energy in the decks that he lost with, the decks that weren't Demon Hunter. Like he had aggro DH instead, and DH wasn't brought to any of the games that he lost. But Fell DH it like buffs your other decks, and that's probably the main reason I was able to beat Rebob and Shep wasn't.
Chicken, any final question you want to ask before we move on to our first pro series in Pro EU?
Um, I was playing Pokemon again. That looked fun.
Oh, yeah, I did not prep at all for that tournament, and I went 6-3. I just grabbed a team from a European friend who was also playing a tournament this weekend and got second at a regional type substance. Technically a special event, but we'll call it a regional because that's what it is, more or less. So it was like a 180 or plus or minus like 50 from there man tournament, and he got second at it because he knew what he was doing with the team and I didn't. But uh, yeah, shout outs to Roxon. There's no shot that he's watching this, but uh, he's yeah, his team did well for me this weekend.
Nice. Yeah, the tried and true strategy of um not not being or not playing the game too much, and then a tournament's coming up, and then you just pay someone $10 for their lineup. Oh, where have I heard this before? And then you get second.
To be clear, Roxon actually did practice with the team, so he's no Viper, but the connection works there. I like what you're going for.
Nice.
Nails is the Viper of Pokemon.
Something like that.
So I'll move us into our next series so we can finish the show before, I don't know, 1 a.m. Eastern. We're going to look at Pro EU first since we have a lot of material to cover in Pro, and EU time zone makes it easier for people in EU if we do that. So let's take a look at Pro U, where League of Nations and Donkey Hot are still dominant, and we're going to start looking at the current League of Nations match. Chicken, tell us what happened there.
Hmm. This looks like uh the team with the GM and really high placing Master Strokes players winning their matches. Yeah, I mean, I feel like this isn't too crazy. The good players like I don't know, the super team won won their week.
Fair.
um Interestingly, a lot of Boar Priest coming out from League of Nations. Definitely a deck that improves a lot with more refined play. I think really, I think the win rate can really shoot up a few percentage points when you're really playing it optimally. And it seems like a lot of the players on League of Nations are doing just that or close to at least. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe expecting to see more Boar Priest going forward in future weeks.
Maybe. I hate boar priest, so I hope not. But that being said, I will ask our boar priest specialist Geranium battle. Geranium, any thoughts on this match and anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten a look at Izatska Boom's and Den's Boar Priest lists here, but there's a lot of expression to be had when you play Boar Priest. So seeing those players get their wins with Boar Priest gives me a lot of confidence for their future in in EU Pro as well. Even though of course, they're on the super team, they're on all the leaderboards and all that. It's also just nice to see sort of the skill being shown and people able to maybe take some inspiration from them.
Sure.
And yeah, I think that Flowens Esports, they sort of got the butt end of these deals here. They are just one of the highest average opponent strength teams. They just seem to face all the top teams. So hopefully they get to face some lower teams and get some much needed points.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll move us into our second match in Pro EU. Geranium, tell us about Undivided facing Burdanax.
Yeah, Undivided, a team that I said to look out for at the beginning of the season, or sorry, in the preseason. Van Sprutarn getting Player of the Week with his 3-0 over Martinho from Pertinax. We got Chewy with a 3-1. Um, Magnificent with the 3-0 sweep over Bouncy Knight. Why the Hunter 3-0 sweeping Revokes, and then Mott taking the 3-0 sweep over Dreadhead and keeping them down to 0-3. We have some Boar Priests in the lower seeds here, and when both players bring Boar Priests, one of them has to win.
Yeah. Um,
There's a
Nails.
shocking amount of sweeps going on.
Yeah, there were so many sweeps here. Anything you want to add about this one, Nails?
Yeah, like just in a format like THL where you're trying to scrap for every point. Usually, when the opponent only has one deck left, you're going to have one favorable into it. So sweeps aren't very common, especially in open decklist conquest formats. So yeah, it's just really surprising to see 4 sweeps in one match.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't know precisely what's causing that. Chicken might blame it on a lack of Demon Hunter bans, but uh, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just yeah, surprising. That's all I got.
for sure.
And to be fair, neither side was really banning Demon Hunter that much.
No, they were not. There were quite a few Quest Hunter bans, actually.
I will say, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you really want to get that win on your favorite deck. So I don't blame it sometimes when sweeps do end up happening, but yeah, it's definitely an outlier.
Sure. Now, Geranium, tell us a bit the general state of Pro EU. What is the conference looking like at this point after 3 weeks of play?
Yeah, we have the top team, League of Nations, 60 points, 3-0 record. and not the highest point per week. We have to travel a little bit down here. F12 Violet coming in next on points with 51 points over their 3 weeks. But then Donkey Hot, 43 points over 2 weeks, the highest points per week of any team in THL right now. Absolutely crushing it. Undivided, sitting at 38. Underdogs, all caps, at 36. Pertinax, 33 points and getting the bye this next week. Flowins Esports at 33 as well. Fruit Basket, already having had a bye, a much higher points per week, but still at the bottom here with 29 points to their name. And then Team Enigma, sadly just not getting started here, 10 points to their name after their 2 weeks of play.
All right. So now that we're done with EU, we can move into Pro Series, our final series of the night. Is everyone ready to move into Pro NA? Awesome. I will take that as a yes. So we're going to start with our Pro Meta Report, where we get to see the stats not just of last week, but of the last 2 weeks of play in Pro Series. And I actually want to ask Chicken, what are his thoughts on these numbers? Anything that pops out to you, Chicken? What is broken right now? Give us some of your insights.
Apparently Burn Shaman is just busted. We have to deal with it. What are we gonna do? It's been, yeah, and banned a decent bit as well. Yeah, surely these Pirate Warrior numbers are completely inflated by food of, and him just winning his matches while always bringing Pirate Warrior. So that's what I have to chalk that up to.
Sure.
Um, Quest Hunter having the highest win rate out of any notable archetype.
Well, of the non-banned archetypes, if you count
Yeah, I suppose
bans.
if you, yeah, yeah, that is true. But yeah, I
Wait,
mean,
so,
Quest Hunter, yeah, I mean, doesn't have too many bad matchups. Like it loses to aggro Demon Hunter and then like slow druids, and then after that, there isn't really much. I mean, it has like some pretty even matchups like Charge Warrior, but
Mac
nothing.
Paladin can be tough, but not backbreaking.
Yeah, it does depend too. I think there's like I think people don't play that super well a lot of the time. Like they kind of just play for removal and then just eventually lose when they run out of removal and their opponent's stuff is still on board. I think like a lot of the time you can just kind of ship everything face and win that way.
Hmm.
Maybe just getting like you can just I think you can just tempo your minions a lot of the time
Fair.
and do pretty well that way. Just like drop a Raj on two because they don't have like early rushes or anything, so it's probably gonna stick, and you get a ton of free damage.
Yeah.
But
Just play
and
that
anyway, yeah, I
Drythar
think.
on 4.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. People
I
should
mean,
do that.
Darknarine
Why
4
don't
is
they do
pretty good
that?
into Mech Paladin. That is one of the decks that struggles to deal with it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But yeah, Quest Hunter is just a Drekthar deck too, so it can literally beat any deck in the game because it just has that absurd high roll.
Yeah. Um.
What is the win rate bans column? Is that counting a ban as a 1-0?
Yes, it
Yeah,
counts a
Yeah.
ban as a win.
Okay. Okay. Sure. So
strange.
that's very biased towards uh, heavily banned decks. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically a way to say, look, it might have this win rate. For example, Control Warrior has a 48% win rate, but if you consider the fact that it does get banned a bit, its performance does improve significantly. Like, um, Aggro DH has a 54% win rate when not banned, but it's banned 60% of the time. So it makes it really absurd because even if you're not banning aggro DH, you're targeting it, and if you target it, you're mostly failing.
I mean, it looks like you're not favored since it still wins 54% of the time when it's not banned. But
Yeah.
um, yeah. Um, okay. Cool. Surprising to see. Hmm. Actually, am I surprised to see anything on this? No, everything here looks kind of reasonable. I guess I'm personally surprised to see FLDH performing that poorly, but um,
Fair.
uh,
I know you're surprised, but personally, I'm not. I don't know. I do think it's just like the the younger brother of the good deck that gets straight A's, is loved by the parents. This is just the forgotten child that really
Fair.
really is just not doing too hot.
I think I'm about the only FLDH enjoyer left at this point, but yeah, I'm sticking with my guns, and I think the deck is good. I think people just don't appreciate it for what it is.
Fair. Does anyone have any final thoughts they want to share about the pro meta before we hop into our first match of the night?
I just think it's crazy that Quest Hunter has been brought more times than Aggro DH, even if it's only one time. That one time is a world of difference. Whoever didn't bring Aggro DH and instead brought Quest Hunter, I mean, you're probably heat shock, but like, why?
That's actually me. I'm the FLDH enjoyer.
That's true.
True.
Fair.
I've been bringing a lot of Feld Demon Hunter. Although this past week I did bring Aggro DH and lamented that I wished it was Fel. I then drew Drexthar and high rolled the counter lineup, but don't worry about it.
Fair. Um,
Because that is what Aggro DH does. It's not very targetable.
no, it really isn't. But moving us into our first match in Black Conference, Nails, tell us about Cyrella's Disciples versus Achieving Playoffs. Maybe.
Yeah, so Cyrella's Disciples took an absolutely dominant victory over the previously undefeated APM. Just Concede took a 3-2 victory over Genji. ZLSJS took a 3-1 victory over Magnificent. Pace beat Sabretooth 3-0. Yesbean took a 3-1 victory over Chewy, and Rearcat 3-1 Reverb. Yeah, Hyperin's team is seems to be made of a bunch of ladder heroes, and they're I don't know, just beating up the best that Black Conference has to offer so far. Uh, Having a great season.
Nice. Nice. Um, Geranium, anything you want to add about Zarella's Disciples facing achieving playoffs? Maybe.
Um, I mean, it's sometimes you're going to get this where I feel like it's supposed to happen at the end of the season where APM hard loses their final week and then doesn't make playoffs. So I guess maybe the week is happening this week. Um, I will note that Pace and Yasmin both played in the 4 seeds in Legacy and in Hero. So maybe Pro and Hero and Legacy aren't too far divided, even though there's a PR system in place. There's some really crazy people running around.
Fair. That's fair. Now, I will move us into our next match in Pro Series. Um, Chicken, we have your team facing Taggers. Your team kind of struggled in the first two matches. Is For the Boys, last season's champions, back?
Oh god, yeah, finally got a win, and all we had to do was play a bunch of wild players. Yeah, yeah. Well, surely we're not washed, right?
I don't think
Yeah, but
so.
yeah, we called in some all of the NA players on our team were too bad, so we had to call in some EU talent. Um, yeah, Darian needed to sub out for finals, and Jake's I think just going to be taking a bit of a break from Hearthstone for a bit. So yeah, thankful to Fudov and Rekvom for being able to sub in, and yeah, they did great this week. Just came in and got wins in a week where we definitely needed to get some wins. Definitely had some struggles in our first couple of weeks, but yeah, I mean, look, I think the team's feeling pretty good going forward, and yeah, looking to keep it up.
For sure. Nails, anything you want to add about this one?
Um, yeah, the getting Requiem on your team generally a good way to win Hearthstone games. So
True.
and Tabs beating down on no decks. Um, Still managed to drop a game. Don't know how that happened, but um, yeah, a good win for the four boys,
For
and
sure.
presumably one chicken.
For sure.
Man,
Oh, go ahead, Geranium.
Seth Seth for Christ's one loss right now on crossover playing is against German Shep. Okay.
I mean that one might have just determined the crossover race right there.
For sure.
They are both 8-1 in crossover, and so I'm
There
pretty
would be
sure.
no
Yeah.
one else who is 8-1 in crossover. Hmm?
Oh, actually, sorry, no. Seth lost another time. Seth also lost in Wild.
Fair.
Oh, rip.
So yeah, Shep took the lead over Seth for Christ. Um, Rebub is like hanging in there with his 10-5 match 1%, which is once you add the rigging, it's right there behind Shep in the crossover standings.
Nice. Now,
Despite the fact that Rebub actually has more game losses than Shep has game wins, um, uh, a 34 and 26 record for Rebub and a 25 and 10 record for Shep. Um, Crossover is rigged, in case anyone was wondering. Um, on the topic of
yeah.
crossover being rigged, also I'm in first, but don't worry about it.
Um. So,
Surely it's rigged.
true. Um. Chicken, tell us what is Black Conference looking like after this match?
Yeah, things are looking mostly the same. Couple teams moving around, but we have in first Zyrella's Disciples, keeping up their consistent winning at 61 points. Then we have Brushy Tuna at 55. Then For the Boys at 45. Popeyes at 41. Faction and EPM both at 40. Then Rotate Quests, please, at 33. And Taggers at 32.
Nice. Now, taking a look at our final conference of the night, the Ping Conference. So we start by looking at a match. Actually, not this match. I have the wrong one displaying. Fixed. Um, Cheesemongers Unite facing F2L. This was a really close match. Geranian, tell us about what happened here.
Yeah, this is a nail biter of a set here. Not Bamity 3-1ing Rebobson, random dude 3-1ing Glee, who was previously undefeated last season. Marty B taking a 3-0 sweep over Pyro Llama. Then the two players who had DQ'd their first week, Memnarch taking a 3-2 win over Itachi, and Berserk, or BZRK, taking the 3-1 win over Wild 9. Um, yeah, just a lot of high quality play right here.
Yeah, this was just so close. 13-12. Um, Chicken, any thoughts about this one?
Yeah, it was a super close match. Pretty exciting stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, Wild Nine having a bit of a tough adjustment to Pro Series. No, I mean maybe just the getting used to the closed list format versus open list, which is maybe what he's more familiar with. So bit of adjustment there, but I mean Berserk is a pretty strong opponent. So having to play berserk when you're already 0-2 on the season is kind of tough. Yeah, surprising to see Glee at 1-2 as well. Since yeah, he
Mm-hmm.
did go 8-0 last season.
For sure. I'll keep us moving into our final match of the night so we don't end too late. Tell me, Nails, how did Bing Bong Big Top do against Pondering My Ape?
The Bing Bong Big Top took an 18-7 victory over the Tap Washers. Izat took a 3-0 victory over Ufric. I took a 3-0 victory over CMAC. Heatshock 3-2 to Kilis Luna. Always Just in Time took a 3-2 victory over Veldus. And Neji Boston defeated MMW 3-1.
Nice. Um, any thoughts on this one that you want to share, Geranium?
Man, I am the color commentary on a lot of this. So I mean, Ufric bringing other Warlock is a highlight of anyone's week, but seeing it banned makes me angry at Izat. Um, and then yeah, uh, of course we have just the whole gamut of different paladin lists: control, mech, hand buff, um, and only one mage gets banned immediately, and Neji Boston wins the week off of that alone. That's the only reason he could have won.
Fair.
Overall, a super low population of Demon Hunters, both in Dex Brought and also Dex Banned. There's only one DH ban, and 4 people just straight up forgot to bring Demon Hunter of any variety. Not sure what's up with that one, but it worked out for the clowns. So, um,
Mm-hmm.
and instead, Ufric and CMAC decided to bring Highlander Priest over Aggro DH.
Yeah, it seems
And
like they were going for sort of, I don't know, you can fill me in here, Nails, but it looked like they were going for sort of a counter DH lineup and then got swept. So they didn't even beat the Demon Hunter.
yeah, I mean, that honestly, that was my premise as well. I brought the Quest Hunter with the old double explosive trap. I got the Control Paladin and the Charge Warrior. But I decided that one of the decks I wanted to include in my counter DH lineup was Aggro Demon Hunter. And that ended up working out better for me than trying to find a fourth deck that could. We brought a 3 deck mirror, and then CMAC had Highlander Priest over DH. Um, uh, and I got there with Tempo Paladin against the Highlander Priest.
Man,
So
it's really crazy that they decided to counter aggro Demon Hunter against someone who had brought Fel DH the first 2 weeks, and then
yeah, that in itself was actually pretty surprising. But yeah, they hit on me bringing aggro DH, and then it got through the quest center in game 1, and that's the series kind of fell apart from there.
Nice. Now, Nails, to finish off our talking points about Pink Conference, tell us what are the standings looking like?
Sure. So Rupp and Cope is the class of pink conference after 3 weeks with at 58 points with a 14-point lead over the field. And the field is extraordinarily tightly packed
Right?
after that, with 7 points separating the 7 teams after Rope and Cope. Cheesemongers United at 44, Swagoi at 43, Smiteside and Bing Bong Big Top at 42, NPH at 40, F2L at 39, and Tap Washers at 37. Notably, uh, in both conferences, 5 out of 8 teams are below 500. So we'll have to see if that can hold moving forward. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of just an interesting statistical quirk.
For sure. Yeah, this is really interesting. We didn't see any conference that was so tightly packed like this, right, Nails? The whole time tonight.
Yeah, there's just no team that's even close to eliminated now. just from a brief glance at the standings, it's probably F2L who's in the worst position, given average opponent strength. But I mean, average opponent strength is like not especially meaningful at this point either, because like all of the teams are so tightly packed, and so it's
Mm-hmm.
um, not going to be very predictive. But yeah, especially with a short pro season, only 7 weeks, it's really the standings. Getting out to a big lead. I mean, it's great for Rope and Cope, and the rest of us in the pack can only wish that we had that we were that we had a lead. It's going to be an exciting race to watch the entire way.
For sure. And any final thoughts about Pro Series before we move on to our checkout question? All right, so um, bringing us back to our main screen for our checkout question here. Our checkout question of the night is Battlegrounds Nagas are here. Are you excited to play Nagas on Battlegrounds or Battlegrounds in general? And there's an alternate question. If you're not a person who want to talk Battlegrounds, let me know and I will ask you the alternate question. So, first of all, I want to thank Nails for being here tonight. It's always great having you and learning from your immense Hearthstone wisdom. So, Nails, tell me, are you excited for Nagas or do you want the alternate question?
So like Nagas and Battlegrounds, so that's like when you're playing Ramp Druid and you give your Naga Giants Wind Fury.
Yeah?
That's the only Battlegrounds that I'm familiar with. Um,
Fair?
so I'm a big fan of coconut ice cream, and mango is a close second.
I dread mango ice cream, but I will take coconut. That's a good answer. Um, great.
Love them both.
And thank you one more time, Nails, for being here tonight. Uh,
Thanks for having me.
now, Chicken, I wanna ask you, are you excited for Nagas and Battlegrounds? And if not, you can answer the alternate question of what is your favorite ice cream flavor?
Yeah, I think a new tribe in Battlegrounds is always exciting. I was like a little bit disappointed with Quillbores because they started off so strong and then kind of got nerfed into oblivion. So I hope
Yeah,
that Nagas are done a bit better than Quillbores were. But
fair.
I am hopeful. I do think new tribes are always cool.
Nice. And thank you one more time, Chicken, for joining us tonight. It's always great having you.
Yeah, it's always fun.
And last but not least, Geranium Battle. Geranium, thank you so much for being here tonight. Congratulations one more time of winning Player of the Week. And my question for you is, are you excited for Nagas and Battlegrounds? And if you don't want to answer that, you can just tell me your favorite ice cream flavor.
I do want to answer that. Once again, thank you. It was I don't know. I consider it an honor to win Player of the Week. But as for the topic here, um, I feel like so one of the main things about this new patch coming in and Battlegrounds moving out of beta, not only the introduction of Nagas, but also the removal of buddies. And I feel like the buddy system was actually a very interesting addition to the Battleground scene where um, the early game wasn't just about power leveling, it was also about making sure that you won your early boards and also had minions that were big and dealt damage so you could get the most percentage towards your buddy. And I feel like moving away from that, it's sort of um, I sort of became more me monkey me go uh, tavern tier up. So I I feel like I'm actually less excited for Nagas because of that reason. As for the actual Nagas as a class, I mean it's pretty fun to get a tier 2 minion and then have that be part of your final comp just about. It's been pretty good.
Nice. Thank you one more time, Geranium, for joining us tonight. As you know, it's always great having you.
It's great. It's great having you as a host, more so.
Thank you. Um, I want to take this opportunity to thank all of our viewers. We do this for you. I hope you enjoyed our show. I want to thank Super Chicken, Geranium Battle, and Naos for being here with me tonight. And shout out to Weldon Out on Thursday and player matches on stream. We're always looking for stream matches. Post on the stream scheduling tab in the Discord if you want to be there. And trust me, we take all levels. It's always fun, and we'll do our best to teach you something or to be able to talk about fun plays. We love all skill levels. Any match is more than welcome. With that said, that is it for us tonight. Um, watch the other shows incoming. Watch Weldon Out on Thursday, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night, everyone.